Nobody tells you this about money. It doesn't just change your bank account. It changes how you breathe. It changes whether you answer your phone or let it go to voicemail because you already know it's a bill collector. It changes whether you walk into a restaurant and order what you want, or scan the right side of the menu first, the side with the prices, and quietly do the math in your head before you decide. Money changes the texture of your daily life in ways that no one ever puts into words. And here's what's strange. People talk about wealth constantly. They debate it, they chase it, they post about it. But almost nobody tells you what it actually feels like from the inside. Not the numbers. Not the accounts. The feeling. What does it feel like to be barely surviving? What does it feel like to be comfortable, but secretly fragile? What does it feel like to finally stop worrying? And what does it feel like to have so much that money stops being real altogether? Today, we're going inside every level. And I promise you, at least one of these is going to feel like someone finally described your life out loud. Welcome to the channel. If you're new here, this is where we go deep into the psychology of money, wealth, and the human behavior that shapes both. Subscribe right now, because the things we talk about here are the things most people spend decades learning the hard way. If this kind of content speaks to you, hit that like button. It genuinely helps more people find these conversations. And drop a comment below telling me which level of wealth you're at right now. Be honest. This is a safe space. Now let's get into it. The first level of wealth is one that millions of people are living inside right now, and most of them feel deeply, privately ashamed about it. Let's call it the survival level. At this level, money is not a tool. Money is a source of constant, low-grade fear. It lives in your chest. It's the thought that appears at 2 a.m. when you should be sleeping. Did that payment go through? Is there enough? What happens if something breaks? At the survival level, your entire financial life is reactive. You're not planning ahead. You're just responding to whatever emergency arrived this week. The car. The medical bill. The rent increase that gave you 2 weeks' notice. And here's the cruelest part of this level. It is cognitively exhausting in a way that people who've never experienced it cannot fully understand. Studies in behavioral economics have shown that financial scarcity actually reduces your mental bandwidth. When your brain is consumed by survival math, there is genuinely less cognitive space left for long-term thinking, creative problem-solving, or strategic decisions. You're not broke because you're bad with money. You're overwhelmed because your brain is running a crisis program every single day. If this is where you are right now, I need you to hear something clearly. This level is not a reflection of your worth. It is a circumstance. And circumstances, unlike character, can change. The second level is the one that looks like success from the outside but feels unstable on the inside. Call it the functional level. At this level, you pay your bills. You have a salary that covers your life. You take vacations, sometimes. You own things. And from the outside, your life looks completely fine. Maybe even good. But internally, you are 1 or 2 bad months away from the level below. This is the level where lifestyle inflation becomes the invisible threat. Because as your income grew, so did your expenses. The nicer apartment. The car upgrade. The subscriptions and memberships and habits that now feel like needs. And somehow, despite earning significantly more than you did 5 years ago, you still arrive at the end of each month with almost nothing left. This is the level where most people stay forever, not because they lack ambition, but because they never address the psychological gap between earning more and keeping more. They assume that the next raise will finally create breathing room. It doesn't. Not unless the habits change first. The third level is where something quietly shifts. Call it the stability level. This is the level where you stop dreading unexpected expenses. Not because you're rich, but because you've built a buffer between your income and your fear. You have savings. Not just a number in an account, but real, accessible security. Months of expenses sitting there, doing nothing dramatic, just existing, and that existence alone changes something in how you move through the world. At the stability level, money stops dominating your thoughts. And when something that used to be a financial crisis, a medical bill, a car repair, an appliance breaking down, becomes merely an inconvenience, you understand for the first time what financial peace actually feels like. It's not excitement. It's not luxury. It's quiet. It's a kind of quietness you didn't even know you were missing until it arrives. This is the level people underestimate most. They skip past it chasing the levels above, not realizing that stability is where genuine quality of life begins. The fourth level is wealth in the way most people imagine it when they close their eyes and dream. Call it the freedom level. At this level, you do not trade time for money in the way most people do. Your assets, investments, properties, businesses, begin to generate income while you sleep, while you travel, while you live. Money at this level becomes a system that works for you rather than the other way around. But here's the psychological truth about this level that almost no one prepares you for. Freedom is disorienting when you first arrive there. You have spent most of your life organized around financial constraint. Every decision filtered through cost. Every dream quietly negotiated down to something affordable. And then suddenly, the constraint is gone. And you realize, unexpectedly, uncomfortably, that you need to figure out who you actually are without it. The people who navigate this level well are those who built their wealth with intention. Who knew what they were building toward, not just what they were building away from. The fifth level, the one that exists beyond wealth as most people conceive of it, is where money stops being real. Call it the abstraction level. At this level, numbers in an account become disconnected from daily experience. You can buy almost anything. The price of a meal, a flight, a car, it registers, but it doesn't feel the way it once did. And strangely, many people at this level report a quiet hollowness, a realization that the thing they spent their whole life chasing has delivered the freedom they wanted, but not automatically the meaning they needed. The most psychologically healthy people at this level are those who kept something the money could never provide: purpose, relationships, contribution. Something they care about that has nothing to do with net worth. Here is what I want you to take away from all of this. Every level of wealth has its own emotional landscape. Its own fears, its own comforts, its own blind spots. There is no level where money magically stops mattering and life simply becomes easy. But there are levels where the fear quiets. Where choices expand. Where the relationship between you and money finally starts to feel healthy rather than desperate. And the journey from one level to the next doesn't begin with a raise or a windfall or a lucky break. It begins with the decision to see your financial life clearly, without shame, without denial, and to start making different choices with whatever you have right now. You don't have to be at the top of this list to have a good life. But you deserve to keep moving. One level at a time. If this video helped you see your financial life differently, if it gave you language for something you've been feeling but couldn't name, please subscribe. This channel exists to give you that clarity consistently, honestly, and without judgment. Hit the like button if this resonated with you. And leave a comment below. Which level are you at right now, and which level are you working toward? I read every single comment, and I want to hear your story. And if you want to keep going, watch the next video on screen right now. It goes even deeper into the psychology of how to move from where you are to where you want to be. I'll see you there.